Hi guys, this is Kristian from Wingsurfer.nl. Here I have the AK Phazer version 3. It's the 2023 model and I already got my hands on one. We only had a few in the first delivery in Europe this year. A lot more will be coming in spring, and I think it's a good thing because this board is pretty good. Again, because I already like the version 2 and this updated model has some changes to it, and they work out pretty well. So this is the 5.3. It's actually got 66 liters. One from last year at 65 liters, and although the same length, the width of the board has changed and it has a lot of other changes to it. The nose rocker has been increased. The tail of the board, it's quite flat all the way. It should have a 90-degree angle for the foil. I didn't use a shim with this board and it worked pretty good. I didn't have the feeling with this board that I needed a shim. And with the version 2, a lot of people do use a shim just to correct the angle of the board a bit. It was a bit off. So I don't think it's needed for this model. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Again, it's got a little bevel in the tail. It's got a V-shaped nose going into a single concave towards the middle, and the V-shaped nose helps to get the board going, but also it works with the touchdowns. When you hit the water, it just bounces off the water easier. Also, what they changed this year are the rails. They are quite sharp on the edges here, and then on the side they call it a high apex rail. I'm actually not sure what it means, but when I look at this board, the rail is quite thick, and then well, maybe you can see it. It just increases in the width towards the top of the board. So it's a little bit less wide on the bottom and then increases towards the top, and it should provide extra stability in this direction for the board. I tried the board a couple of times, and for me, with 85 kilos, this board is still stable enough to get going. And although it looks a bit different today, the North Sea here, it can be a bitch. It's choppy as hell, so for my size, I'm happy to get going on a volume board. Well, it's not like call it a mid-volume board like this. Also, what it changed for this year is the Footstrap positions. Actually, this year, last year, the board sometimes came with Footstraps. Apparently, there was a mistake; it shouldn't have come with Footstraps, but this year all the boards come with Footstraps. They changed the position a little bit of the straps. Also, last year I had to put my Footstraps all the way to the front, and with the foils I was using that year, slingshot, axis, I had to put the foil all the way to the rear, and only foils from AK, from F1 for example, they could go more to the front. This year, however, I did the same with Footstraps, put them all the way to the front, and I noticed the first time they were actually too much forward. So I moved the Footstraps one back for one hole. Also for the foil, it was much more to the front than before. So they changed quite a bit on the shape, and for me, as I'm riding a lot of axis foils and slingshot, this works out pretty well. But also still the AK foils from AK themselves work well on this. What else is there? Still comes with a nice handle on the bottom. So back to the foot straps. I have actually some Drake foot straps on there right now. They're from Starboard. Why? Well, the foot straps from AK, they're really light, and this version comes with a V-strap actually. You could also do just a single strap on front and a single strap on the rear, but with a V-strap, of course, you can go in both directions. However, they are really light, something I like. The problem with it though is, with my feet size, they're just too small. So it's really nice that they provide the foot straps, but even though I'm still not wearing any boots yet, they don't fit me. So, okay, next year, please make the foot straps a bit larger. I know a lot of guys, especially from Southern Europe, their foot sizes are probably a little bit smaller. But for the guys in Northern Europe and probably in the US or something, and you know, there are always guys that are bigger or larger, they have larger feet, and make them at least, well, I think 2 centimeters wider, especially when we want to use, well, we don't want to, but when we're using boots in the winter, the foot straps need to be larger. Okay, next thing, it's the concave deck. Last year, they already had a lot of concave in the deck, and though I can't compare it with the version 2 right now, I think this year this model even has more concave. It is something I had to get used to in a way. Other boards I use a lot have less concave, and what it does, well, it's got a positive side to it really. The connection with the foil, I mean, the board looks thick, but I had a really direct feel to the foil with this board. So it felt really direct, and that is nice. Also, with the concave, when you want to do an aggressive move, you just have to put your weight on one side, and it turns really quickly because of that. So you have to press less hard to make it go into a curve. That's something I did have to get used to, because in the beginning, the first, I don't know, hour or so, you just have to, when you press a little bit too much on one side, you're like, oh whoa, what's happening here? You know, you just turn around too quickly, and you get off balanced, and especially when jibing and you're going out of your foot straps, because you have to switch, you have to be careful not to put too much pressure on the side of the board, because it just turns too fast. But once I got used to it, I liked it, because when you're wave riding, it just makes you can control the boards easier and faster, and you can ride the wave more aggressively because of that. Although the only thing I did had was a little bit with the foot strap, because of, well, I've got, I think, a US size. My feet are like 12-ish, and I like to go as far as possible into the foot strap, so you're like in the middle of the board, and because of that, my toes are already on the other side of the concave, and it feels really direct in everything you do. So it's a bit of a love-hate thing at the moment, but I think if I've had three sessions now on the board, I think if I have a little bit more, it will be great. You know, you get used to it and you can turn quicker. So the version 2 was already a very popular board for the wing foilers, Again, they have sort of the same sizes, give or take, 1 liter more or less, for 2023. I would again recommend this board. Anyone who wants to size down. So if you're on a 90 liter board or something and you want to go on a smaller board but don't want to go too small, get the 65 liters. It's a great board. You notice it's designed for wing foiling. If you're into the ocean, the sea, and you have waves, I would take this board and not, for example, the AK Compact. The AK Compact is more for the guys that are either small or when you're on a lake and you just want to freestyle and you just want to have the shortest board possible. Out on the ocean, especially because of the shape of the bottom and all, I think the AK Phazer works much better, and also it just looks better, you know. It's got a nice sort of pointy nose, it looks surfy, you know. Okay, it's not important, but it does look good and it works, so get this one.